Everybody, welcome to English 2530. I'm looking forward to working with you this semester. My name is Jeff Moody, and I will be your instructor. And there's some information about me there in the Blackboard course, but just to give you a little bit of information about me personally, because I know this is an online course and we don't did a lot of face-to-face conversations. So I just want to take a second to introduce myself, and then we'll talk through the information of the course of class. So from Montgomery originally, both undergrad and master's at AUM. Got my doctorate from the University of Tennessee in English literature, and I'm excited to be here. I don't teach full time at AUM. I teach as a part-time adjunct because I work in supply chain management and operations management at a local business. So this ends up being very much a passion project for me. It's what I love to do. I get excited about not only just the texts themselves, but also helping you understand not just how to write about them or how to interact with literature, but ask the big questions that literature requires us to ask, like what's good in the world, what is valuable, and how we can best see that in our own lives and in the lives of others. Literature in particular helps us see that and ask those questions quite well. So what I wanted to do in this video is just give you a basic overview of the course. That's what we're going to be doing in week one. We're not diving in with a huge amount of text or other things. We'll start working on that next week. For the most part, this week it's just an introduction, a series of several introductions, in fact. One, this video is an introduction from me to you, but also an introduction of the course itself and some of the basic course materials. So let's take a look at some of the things that you're going to be doing. For every week, there's going to be a video like this, sometimes two, but mostly just one video where I come through and walk through what's due that week and touch on some of the key points that I'd like for you to remember. If there's more extensive discussion about the literary text and some of the themes there, then I will be doing separate videos as well. But the main thing is if you're watching this video and you're walking through the course on Blackboard, you'll have everything you need for the semester. Just go week to week and keep up with the work. So let's dive in. If you want to click on our Blackboard page, here's where it is, and you'll see first in this section a start here, which this is just a general introduction that I'd hope you'd read. I'm going to send this to you as an announcement as well, and then the syllabus itself. So I'm going to let you read most of the syllabus, but I wanted to point to just a couple of quick things for us to look at. I'm going to download this. This is too small. Okay, there we go. So all of the core information there about the course, the learning outcomes that what we are doing in this course and how to best use it. Your textbook, which is the Norton Anthology 10th edition, major authors. That's this guy right here. It has everything you need in it for this class. If there's additional stuff, I'm going to be posting it from week to week. Now, in order to succeed in this course, the best thing that I can tell you is this course is not designed to be some extensive real testing type thing that you might have in later courses. It's really just an introduction to the literature this time period with the hopes that you'll learn something from it, but also an engagement with you on how you can best accomplish this work, how you can present yourself in writing. As such, it's not going to work to just try to cram everything into one thing. There's a lot of little assignments throughout the semester that are building up toward the bigger assignments that you're going to be completing. So as you look through it, you're going to see in each week that there's going to be at least some form of a discussion board post until the latter parts of the semester. These discussion board posts are the framework of the entire class. You're going to be responding to the texts and responding to your classmates' thoughts on the text. And the themes that we discuss in those discussion board posts are the themes that we're going to pursue in the exams. And so by the time you get to the midterm, to the final exam, everything that you've got is going to be building on those same themes that you've been discussing throughout the semester. In other words, there's not going to be this new thing that you've got to prepare for. If you want to succeed in this course, which I think is very attainable for you at the level of education you are, the best thing you can do is to start early and to keep up with the reading and the writing that's going on through the semester. Some of the texts are longer, and I'll try to give you a heads up on those with the idea saying that that you don't need to wait until the end of the week to start these texts as we get into some of the, like reading the entire play of Othello, or reading Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, or book 1 of Gulliver's Travels. You don't want to wait until Friday to try to complete that and then turn it in. You want to wait. You want to go ahead and get started on Monday so that you've got time to complete it. So for this week, and as an example of what we're doing this week, in each part of the syllabus, you can look here and see, here are the topics we're going to discover, here are the readings, and then here's where the work that is due. You'll see it over here on the right side. All of this information is in the syllabus. Oops, sorry. Go back here. You will have something due every week this semester. And as a result, these early stages, at least you've got 2 things due this week and then 2 things due next week. Those are smaller assignments where I'm just getting you used to the process of using your ideas about the text, and then also communicating with me through, and with us through, the discussion board. Those are going to be what we call lower consequential, but as we move on, they get bigger and bigger, and I'm expecting more from the writing. Stay with it, stay specific, and then plan on turning something in every week. I tend to work with you on when it comes to abscesses and extensions. I'm not here to try to hold that line that you have to get everything done right on time. I mean, there are certain classes that do that, and that's fine. But I tend to expect to give you some opportunity if you've got to get your work done. I'm not going to chase you down. We're all adults here. But I think that gives you a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of engagement, because I want to work with you. I'm not looking for you to just repeat my ideas back to me. I'm much more in a supportive role of finding ways to help you get to those things. And if you complete the work every week, then you're going to be just fine. If you need extensions, reach out to me. I'm very flexible, but you need to reach out to me first. If I've got to track you down to try to get work turned in, then I'm pretty limited on the options that I have for you. If you work with me and you are getting your information to me, and you are asking me ahead of time for ways that you can be helped, then I'm in a much better place to actually give you some of the support you need. I have much more flexibility. So stick with it week to week. Look at all this information here in the syllabus. Most of this is pretty normal in comparison to here it is. Sorry, I thought I lost it. To other courses. The main thing is just make sure that you are keeping up with the work. And each week I'm going to be giving you information about what the assignments are. So let's go back into this information, and let's look where you're going to find everything you need. Week 1 introductions. So if you click on this link, you'll see week 1 materials. Now, there's the week 1 video. I assume you've gotten here on this YouTube video through this link, but you may have gotten it through the link that I embedded in the announcement or the message. Either way is fine with me, but that's what this is. And every week you're going to have some form of weekly study notes that are going to be here that I've uploaded for you, that are pointing to some major themes that you can see. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. So in this case, what we're doing in this course is we're going to be talking a good bit about the themes of virtue, chivalry, honor, and loyalty. And those terms are things that we can hear often. And if I just said those terms, those are probably familiar to you. But if we start digging into the idea of saying, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to be chivalrous or honorable? I bet we would find that definition can focus. We all have an idea of honor, loyalty, chivalry, and virtue, but we may not always be able to define it consistently for ourselves or for the people around us. And that is true not just of now, but of any historical period. And it's especially true in the text that we're going to be dealing with this semester, when there's this greater cultural expectation of what right behavior is, based on who you are, based on what you've been given, sometimes based in positive ways, and oftentimes based in negative ways. And we're going to unpack that this semester. And that's going to give us the opportunity to talk about different things like what's going on in the world of English literature at this time, and see some parallels to our lives today. How are different people groups treated in terms of who they are? What sort of diversity is a big part of a conversation that we're having, not just in the university culture, but also one in our courses. And you're going to write a diversity essay by the end of this semester. And so we're going to be engaging with those topics through that lens of what's considered honorable behavior. what's considered virtuous behavior, what's considered chivalrous behavior, and then where should we find and where should loyalty be exhibited on both things. In all texts, as in all cultures, there's this expectation that we all carry with us. And that sometimes that expectation comes from the inside, sometimes it's from these external circumstances. But whatever the case is, there is generally an expectation that we're going to behave a certain way. And we're going to unpack that and see where we can find those themes in early English culture and in English literature, and see how those themes still speak to us today. That's the core of this course, and I'm excited to walk through it with you. So for this week, what I'd like for you to do is read these notes where we talk about these specific texts, and then about about some of the major themes that we're going to be digging into through the semester. These main categories, this context and text and context, which is about the relationship between the text and the world that created it, about aesthetics and beauty, and about the way that these texts force us to ask questions. And finally, I want to really emphasize this point here. I don't expect that you're going to have the same interest in this literature as I am. I told you, this is a passion project for me. I love these texts. I love thinking about them and working through them. I know that is not something that is shared by everybody I come in contact with. But my goal in this is not just, it is to actually present you and work with you on some ways that you can think and expand your thinking about things that you may not have considered before. Or if you've read these texts, like if you're familiar with the Canterbury Tales, what are perhaps some new lenses through which you can see some themes there? I definitely believe that these texts have things to say to us today, and we're going to continue to unpack those. I've only assigned one text this week, and that is a portion of Bede's Ecclesiastical History. Where is it? There it is. That includes Caedmon's Hymn. Caedmon's Hymn is the first or the only, the earliest form, the recorded form that we have of Old English poetry. Bede himself wrote in Latin, but he included this section of Old English poetry in this miraculous story of how how Caedmon was given inspiration to be able to write and to sing in this case, and that's where we see Old English. And we're going to see some themes about God and about man in that poem. So for the assignments this week, they're pretty easy. My goal is to try to ease into this process as an online class, and I recognize that in today's world, especially post-COVID, everybody's had some form of online education to various levels of success. I know that the online format is a little more difficult to catch up on than going to class every week. That's okay. So I want to make this early process as easy as possible. So I've got 2 discussion board assignments that are due this week, both of which are fairly small, both of which are worth 5 points. And in general, if you're completing them by the instructions, you're going to get full 5 points. I'm not grading for grammar or anything like that at this early stage. What I wanted to just see you do is to take this week and to get to know the format of the course, and to get to know the format of the texts, and get to know the context that we're going to be working in, which is why I included the that early part of the British literature information. So in that case, the first discussion board post, excuse me, I'm going to go, where did I go? There I am. In general, this is you're going to see discussions each week. For this one, I just wanted to hear your name and the hometown, and I want you to think through your ideas of honor, loyalty, chivalry, and virtue. Pick one of those terms and explain what you think it means. Or whatever, just use it as a way to start thinking in general. You may not have a clear definition, but you've heard it somewhere. I just want to see you unpacking the term and using this format. And that's due by Wednesday. You see it right here, January 10th by 8 p.m. And then the second discussion board is to take Caedmon's Hymn, which is there in your Norton Anthology, or some of the information that Bede included about Caedmon there, and really find just a line and quote it, or find something that is of interest to you that explains why this text is important and what's going on there. And I've pointed to some specific themes in the reading notes that you can use to unpack that. So I think this week should be fairly just an easy on-ramp to the rest of the week. As we look forward, we're going to look at some more Old English poetry next week and expand on these themes. But in general, welcome to the course. I'm glad you're here. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I'm happy. I will be available throughout the semester for whatever you might need, so that I can help you do well here. The best way to get in contact with me is through my email. email, cmoody@aum.edu. I know my name is Jeff. My first name is Charles. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for calling me by my middle name. But it's cmoody@aum.edu. Reach out with any questions or concerns. I'm happy to work with you. So have a good week. I will be back next Monday with a new video discussing what we're going to be talking about this next week and giving you some more information on it. I hope you have a great week. Take care.